King Salman International Complex. Abdulaziz Alqohi. I work for Business Development Department at International Maritime Industries, IMI. In this session, I will give you an overview about international maritime industries, as well as preview about the King Salman International Complex. Before we start, I would like to thank Kormarine Conference for the kind invitation. In this session, I will start with demonstration video about IMI. Then we will go overview about international maritime industries presentations.
On the northeast coast of Saudi Arabia, the largest maritime yard in the MENA region is taking shape, a nearly 12 million square meter facility that will help shape the global maritime industry. A world-class maritime yard, capitalizing on geographic advantage and strategic opportunity to build, overhaul, and maintain ships and offshore rigs, using state-of-the-art infrastructure to provide sustainable and cutting-edge solutions in an era of digitalization, harnessing technologies like AI and robotics while reducing carbon emissions and impact on marine life, with a green yard that will set the standard for sustainability in the global maritime industry. Bringing together major maritime operators Aramco and Bahri and expert manufacturers Lamprol and Hyundai Heavy Industries to bridge the gap between customers and suppliers and deliver global success. The only shipyard in the world with guaranteed offtake agreements worth $10 billion over 10 years, enabling long-term partnerships with customers through lifecycle offerings and an attractive supply chain. Driving the evolution of Saudi Arabia's maritime and logistics industries, contributing to the creation of 80,000 jobs by 2030, adding $17 billion in GDP and an import substitution of $12 billion, while providing a platform for the next generation to grow and thrive.
In this presentation, we will go overview about IMI. Let me start with some background in the development of the maritime sector in Saudi Arabia, especially King Salman International Complex. We have developed a game-change approach to localization that is aligned with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Vision 2030. Our localization model has 4 dimensions. First, a central champion to drive a sector development and the local content. A second, a serial of critical enablers to build competitive industries to export goods and services. Third, a financial and strategic investment platform targeting opportunities that support the local development and the job creation. Fourth, supporting diversifying the Saudi economy by attracting foreign and strategic investment. This slide shows some interesting statistics that support the feasibilities of creating these industries, where the Kingdom seaborne trade represents around 6% of the global market, and it's strategically located with minimal deviations from global trade routes linked Asia to Africa and Europe and Americas. Most importantly, the offshore activity in the region generates a large consistent demand for maritime goods and services. If we look at the current level of activities from the local players like Saudi Aramco and the National Shipping Company of Saudi Arabia, Bahri, we can be assured that the localization of the maritime industry is of its great significance not just in the kingdom and the region, but also globally. With the opportunity to grow the local industry, we established a roadmap with a key anchor project that will assist in developing the new industry. The first step was creating national champion through the integration of Saudi Aramco crude vessels carrier and the fleet of Bahri. The next step was creating the maritime complex to get into the manufacturing industry by leveraging the level of activity. The complex would host offshore cluster, shipbuilding, maintenance and repair, as well as engine manufacturing. We then established National Maritime Academy, NMA, to serve not only the King Salman Maritime Complex, but also the entire maritime sector in the kingdom. While the final step, currently in progress, is creating the ecosystem and the marine financial service. IMI is currently finalizing the establishment of the sustainable financing platform to provide competitive financing solution to our key customer. By bringing in the enablers to effectively build and localize the industry through an integrated supply chain. This exciting initiative was the largest of its kind regionally, was inaugurated by His Majesty King Salman in November 2016, and is on as one that aimed to complement the Saudi Arabia energy industry, helping to meet development and diversification objectives outlined by the Saudi Vision 2030. The complex is not only complementing the energy sector need and plan for fully integrated energy sector, but also to contribute to the kingdom vision to diversify the economy by creating 80,000 direct and indirect jobs in the sector, $12 billion of import substitution, and adding $17 billion to the GDP by 2030. We have succeeded in attracting McDermott, HHI, and Lambrell with a total foreign direct investment of $1.2 billion. To support and diversify the Saudi economy, the strategy also calls for attracting investors in the supply chain and the ecosystem with total estimated value of $4.6 billion. These including casting, forging, steel plates, and drill system. The main anchor project in the King Salman complex is IMI. We have two more projects. As you can see, the yellow is McDermott for offshore platform, or the green is McKean, which is a joint venture between Saudi Aramco and HHI for the engine manufacturing. More detail in different IMI zones will be covered in the upcoming slides. Let's move to IMI capabilities. The success of IMI shipyard is built on the collaboration of well-known leaders in the industry who have a proven track record. In addition to Saudi Aramco at 40% ownership, we have Hyundai Heavy Industry, Lambrell, and Bahri each at 20%. Each one of these partners was strategically selected to add an area of strength of the maritime yard. The SIDF provides the main sources of liquidity, enabling IMI to establish the maritime industry in the kingdom with $1 billion loan. We have secure offtake agreement to build 20 jackup rigs for Aramco and 52 vessels to Bahri, including 20 VLCCs, combined with the technical know-how Hyundai and Lambrel in manufacturing and services, is the heart of the company business model, allowing it to be the world-class facilities with competitive advantages. IMI was officially registered in Saudi Arabia as Limited Liability Company, LLC, in December 2017. The IMI yard consists of 4 operational zones. Zone A, maintenance and repair overall, with annual capacity of 137 vessels, 116 offshore support vessels, OSVs, and 15 rigs. Zone B, new build offshore support vessels, with annual capacity of 25 OSVs. Zone C, new build vessels, with annual capacity of 18 vessels, including 3 very large crude carriers. Zone D, new build rigs with annual capacity of 4 rigs. In addition to 4 operational zones, there are 2 zones, E and F, for offices, accommodation, and support facilities, with a capacity of 14,000 employees. More detail in each zones will be covered as well in upcoming slides. In this section, we will preview our localization strategy and value propositions. Initially, IMI is targeting to localize 70% of the bill of materials content for both rigs and ships by the year 2030. The localization achievement is measured to ensure added value to the maritime ecosystem on the basis of 4 elements, which are: first, manufacturing; second, assembly; third, the local purchasing; finally, knowledge transfer. Then a scoring system was developed to measure a collective localization index. Now, in order to move suppliers to invest locally, IMI offering a package of value propositions, starting with the pursuit to designated King Salman Maritime Complex and nominated the supply chain clusters as a special economic zone where the suppliers are attracted through the host of tax, businesses, and regulatory incentive. For the selected strategic project, IMI intend to sign a long-term agreement with suppliers after secure the buyer in from our major client, Aero and Bahri. Amid development of the offshore cluster, IMI intend to jumpstart localization with the yard. This lean localization concept provides supplier with accessibilities to IMI facilities, equipment, and the manpower as committed. IMI offering are enabled by the digitalization strategy, which has become perceived factor in the maritime industry, supporting profitability and sustainable business. The strategy is facilitated through the following elements. First, establishing a new business model that revolves around the cost competitiveness, innovations, and the long-term partnerships. Next, investing in a big data analytics and digital twin automation in support of building a smart yard, smart product, which enable product lifecycle management services. Now, in order to ensure that our information technology infrastructure is both robust and strong, we are targeting to expand the framework of cyber security to meet national and international standards, as well as adopt industry best practices. We have clustered our environmental, circular economy initiatives in three main categories, starting with the compliance themes, where we aim to capitalize on interdependent solutions that enable regularly compliance, as well as position us within parameter of green Saudi green initiatives and the Saudi Aramco net zero goal. Circularity is leveraged in the areas such as responsibility supply chain practices and holistic life cycle assessment. Lastly, decarbonization takes a dual approach within the shipyards team, advocates for use of green steels and the low emission assets. Now we will transfer into the operation readiness. In the early handover, I'm going to start the commissioning process with the Zone D2. Rigs 3 will be the first offshore jackup rigs to be built in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And in addition of these operation zones, practice handover of admin offices, support building, and commissioning in a process. In compliance, IMI have 5 ISO certificates, as well as IMI now a member of the British Safety Council. And the API quality certificate is under process. As for the technical capabilities, we have partnered with a local education institution as well as vocational trainings. Since 2018, we have graduated the first 2 batches of 1,280 apprentices, while the third intake of 550 started in progress in February 2022. IMI professional workforce have begun on-job training in collaboration with our local and international partners. As a part of the initial offtake agreement with Bahri, the first VLCCs was delivered in October 2021, which was manufactured at our partner HHI facilities in Korea. The project contributed to train of 93 employees of engineering and industrial workforce. As a part of the initial offtake agreement with Saudi Aramco, the first jackup rigs start manufacture in our partner Lambrel facilities in UAE, and the expected delivery day in Q4 2022. Similarly, the project contributed to train 83 employees. To date, maintenance and repair overall MRO project has contributed to generate an early revenue from 26 projects, which were completed with no innocence. Let's move to IMI yard zones. Zone A and B. The MRO zone will have an annual capacity of serving 137 commercial vessels, 116 OSPs, and 15 rigs. The dry dock in the MRO zone is 90 meters wide and 374 meters long. Has a total floor area of 33,660 square meters, large enough to allow for the entry of the large jackup rigs and submersible rigs. The customized parallel submersible barges is 80 meters wide and 100 meters long, with a unique design, primarily for load out, load in the rigs and vessels. The Synchro lift system is a unique, given once it's completed will be one of the largest in the world, with a platform length of 250 meters and has maximum lifting capacity of 25,000 tons. Zone C, which is the largest zone with the facility, will be dedicated to build commercial vessels. This zone will have an annual capacity of 3 VLCCs and 15 other commercial vessels, including bulk carrier and chemical tanker. It houses 2 dry docks, one of which is the largest dry dock within the yard, with a size of 550 meters long and 75 meters wide. Additionally, supported by 2 large growth cranes, with combined tandem lift capacity of 2,150 tons, makes it one of the largest tandem lifting capacity in the world over a single dry dock for blocking positioning, future enhancing, and shipbuilding process. Zone D, the offshore rigs fabrication zones, has a capacity to build 4 jackup rigs annually. The fabrication of the jackup legs will be taken within the Zone D, of which are placed using fully robotic systems. Zone E and F, for corporate office, client office, training and development center, and other accommodation offices, will have capacity of 14,000 employees. As you can see, this picture was taken in Q4 of 2017. 70% of the shipyard is offshore before we started dredging. This picture was taken in the 3rd quarter of 2019. As you can see, the breakwater, the quay wall, the marine structure, as well as the approach channel has been almost completed. Thank you for listening. And if you would like to contact a sales team to order rigs, ships, OSPs, or maintenance repair overall for those, please contact me at sales@imi-ksa.com. To register as a vendor, please visit our website and register there. For any question or collaboration with the procurement team, please contact Faisal Al-Hamdan at faisal.hamdan@imi-ksa.com. Thank you for listening, and it was my pleasure to present you to the Kingdom, to the King Salman International Complex, and international maritime industries.